Trauma reversal is the cure for fear. Cure your trauma, cure your fear. Then go be a soldier in God's army of light, save the children, and create heaven on earth. You can either choose love or fear. It's your choice, love or fear. I mean, we all see at least 27 5D memes about this subject a day. And they make it sound so simple, just like quit being afraid, right? Just choose love, bro. Like all we have to do is stop being afraid, just like that. Like you're going to give it up for Lent this year or something. But if not being afraid is so easy, why is being courageous so scary and hard? We've all heard that courage is being scared shitless but saddling up anyway. So why do we need courage? And if we need to have it, why is it so damn hard to have, right? And the thing about courage is it eventually teaches us that we had nothing to be afraid of to begin with. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, right? So what courage is, it's one of these false premises that's used to defraud us of our free will without asking us first, right? Assuming the need for courage is real gives power to the notion that fear itself is real. If fear weren't real, would the need for courage even exist, right? Why would we need to be courageous if there's no such thing as fear or nothing to be afraid of? By assuming we need to be courageous, we by default assume that fear is real, which is a lie, right? Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. Love is the only thing that's real. Therefore, fear is not real because fear is not love. So if fear is not real, why are we so afraid of it? We're afraid of it because we lack love. And we lack love because we've been cut off to access to love through the use of fear and fear-based, trauma-based mind control. Until we've healed our trauma-based illness and the self-sabotaging patterns that come along with trauma-based illness, our own thoughts, our own speaking patterns, and our own central nervous systems are keeping us cut off from the love we require to understand the world in the way the world was meant to be understood, which is from a peaceful, whole, unified point of view, rather than the world we've unconsciously been programmed to create by default that makes absolutely no sense to us, which is the inverted, fear-based phantom matrix we're living in today. We've literally been programmed through fear and trauma-based mind control to create the false world we're so afraid of. The false world the controllers wanted us to create for them, so they can keep us trapped in a world of our own making. They've actually tricked us into creating our own prison, a prison we create with our own minds. The fear we see out there is a projection of the unhealed fear going on inside of us. So to cure fear out there, you have to cure the fear in yourself first. And then you realize fear is not real. It was just something you were tricked into creating. Because that's how powerful of a creator you actually are. You are the only thing making fear real. And we're not supposed to be this afraid because the world is not supposed to be this fucked up. We were tricked into creating it this way through our persistent focus on fear. This is why it's so easy to say all you have to fear is fear itself. And why for many, not being afraid of something, even if it's having too much time on their hands, is beyond their comprehension. We feel naked without our fear. We're confused when we have nothing to be afraid of. So we go out and we find something to fear, which is to say we don't even know how not to be afraid. The trauma-based mind control runs that deep. Imagine being afraid of what people thought about you. Imagine not putting an above-ground pool in your backyard because your friends will make fun of you and call you a redneck. Or deciding not to live in a trailer on a beautiful piece of land because that's not bougie enough to match the artificial identity projected on you by other people's expectations. That is a life of fear. That is a form of trauma-based mind control. They call it keeping up with the Joneses, but in actuality, it's mind control. We've been programmed to be afraid of our own damn shadows. And ironically, it's we who are casting our own shadows to be afraid of. It's both symbolically and literally true at the same time. That's how true this all is. We're programmed to seek safety because our world, we think, is something to seek safety from. You have to understand the messaging, the movies, the ads, the headlines, all of the content everywhere is meant to make you feel uncertain. In sales, they call it fear, unknowing, and doubt. 3 of the best motivators for getting people to cough up their money in all of sales. Fear, unknowing, and doubt. And all of this content, every line of copy, every CGI explosion, or gaslighting news anchor person is here to scare the shit out of you on purpose. This fear leads to trauma. You know, when the president of your country tells you he's losing his patience because you refuse to violate yourself the way he told you to, it causes trauma. Unless you're no longer afraid. But until such time you're kept traumatized on purpose, which we all know is the case. We're being frightened on purpose. This is being done to us on purpose. We're traumatized using fear as the weapon to create the trauma. They use fear as a hammer and your human psyche as the nail. So what does this tell us? It tells us that trauma is the tool used by every piece of darkness-inspired content on planet Earth to keep you believing fear is real. Trauma is the tool created by fear to keep you believing fear is real. So we can now know that when we heal and transmute our trauma, we are cutting off the power trauma has to convince us fear is real. We're disabling the tool used by the dark to convince us we need to be afraid. We cure ourselves from the false belief that fear is real, and we no longer have to worry that fear is real. We heal our trauma, we heal our fear. We cure our trauma, we cure our fear. And so there you have it, right? Trauma reversal is the cure for fear. Cure your trauma, cure your fear. Heal yourself, heal planet Earth. And when more and more people cure their fear, less and less fear will exist since we are the ones creating it. So if you cure your fear, you cure all fear for everyone. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for sticking around, and we will see you next time.